Hello. Hi there. This is yours truly, Arthur Denchfield, also known as Arturos Rex and Rex Arturos, and I'm still here by the pool, staying another day because the house that's being fumigated has to be ventilated a little better. But I wanted to take this opportunity to recommend that you get this book here. This is called Need to Know UFOs, the Military, and Intelligence by Timothy Good. Now, it just so happens that this is the best book that you can get about the subject right now because it's quite up to date. And you can get this at Amazon.com. Reading the first chapter about the modern history of UFOs and ufology, we were struck by the fact that it really started in Italy in 1933 when a unidentified flying object, Vuelo Scuscota, something like that in Italian, fell near Milan, and Mussolini he asked for information on this, and he didn't want anybody to know about this. And this UFO fell on the 13th of June, 1933. And as I've mentioned before in blogs and also tweets and so on, that it was on the 13th of June, 1929, that the Most Holy Trinity and Our Lady of Fatima appeared to Sister Lucia dos Santos in Tui, Spain, asking that the Holy Father, in union with the bishops of the world, consecrate Russia to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. And this is like many years after the Fatima apparitions. Let's see, that was 1917 to 1929. That's 12 years later. The Catholic Church studied the Fatima apparitions and declared them to be valid and worthy of belief in 1930. That is 13 years after the apparitions. And so the fact that the Pope then and subsequent popes through Francis I did not obey Almighty God and do what God asked way back in 1929 leads me to believe that this UFO that was allowed to crash on the 13th of June 1933 in Italy was like a reminder. It was like a guidepost, a reminder from heaven to pay attention to the Tui apparition that took place on the same day, but in 1929. So according to this book here, and there are documents full of documentation, dates, and so on, sources, all validated, Il Duce was very, very interested. Il Duce is the Italian name for Mussolini. He was very interested in the UFO phenomenon and what was happening concerning this UFO that fell in 1933. And his memo is printed here. Now, we're led to believe that the whole UFO business officially started in Roswell, New Mexico in 1947. But no, the one in Italy is the official beginning of ufology, modern ufology, because it involved the leader of a country. And unfortunately, Italy was being run by Mussolini and the fascists, and so therefore it is likely that the Vatican and the religious authorities were probably kept in the dark about this event. But I found that very, very striking, that a UFO fell on Italian soil in 1933 on the 13th of May, 13th of June, exactly 4 years after the apparition by the Most Holy Trinity and Our Lady Fatima to Sister Lucia. Now, there was something else I wanted to say. Australia had their share of problems with UFOs in the 1920s. They had like a Bermuda Triangle situation there, vast basin where airplanes, commercial airlines, and even ships, rescue ships, vanished. They were nowhere to be found. And so we really ask, with all due respect, that the leaders of the world, starting with President Donald John Trump, really endorse and execute this disclosure project, disclosing the truth about UFOs. The U.S. government is perhaps the only government in the world that has put brakes on disclosing what's really going on. We like to think that not all UFOs are evil. I mean, perhaps it's still a mystery. We don't know. The inclination of many, including myself, is that they're all demonic spirits who disguise themselves as ETs in order to deceive mankind. But there have been supposedly some good things come out of this too. Now, one recent UFO flap happened in Brazil in 1977, called the Colares UFO flap in the Amazon basin, the Colares Amazon, and maybe this is one of the reasons why Francis I is having that October 2019 Episcopal or special council meeting in the Amazon to discuss the modern family and the like. And anyway, I was going to share a fantasy I had, but I better not. It has something to do with whether these UFOs showed up and just showed God's displeasure with the whole thing by shooting up the works, but I'm not going to say that. That would not be charitable. Anyway, buy this book by Timothy Good. He's a very responsible